So a very good afternoon, and here we are with the third session of the first round between these two players. On the right hand side, the two times world champion and the been quite prolific on the EPA and on the UK tour for a number of years. It's Tom Cousins. Just obviously has stepped across into IPA quite recently. And on the left-hand side of the screen, the probably very recognisable frame of George Tierney, aka the real number one. There's Big George. I just bumped into Tom Cousins in the toilet and asked him how he was feeling. I said, I expect you're a bit nervous. He said he's never been feeling the pressure like it, facing up against the big gun of George. I'm joined on commentary by Zach Shepherd. Morning, Zach. You're having a good day already, aren't you?
Oh no, it was a walkover actually.
Hey?
I had a walkover, so I'm happy I'm through, but I wanted to play.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw your score ticking up. It was Paul Riley, wasn't it?
Yeah, he didn't turn up, so I had a walkover.
Oh, never.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to get through.
I was just like, wow, Zach's having a hell of a day. Here's a Paul, because the score kept ticking over every 10 minutes. You get a frame, I take it, do you?
I don't think he let him know. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Minutes, yeah.
So I just saw Zach 7-0.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, Paul was like 1-2, and you were 6-4, whatever it was with the bookies, and I thought, it's game on here. Zach's absolutely playing out of his skin, and I mean, Paul's a tough and kind of gritty opponent, isn't he? And I was thinking Zach's having the game of his life here.
Yeah, it was going to be a tough game. I was looking forward to it. I've been playing quite well, but I'm happy to be in the next round. Won't say no. Looks like a break dish here, first frame. If Tom can finish these off.
And this will be the third match we've watched on this table, which is open with a break dish. Well, I don't know what that says about the main arena stream table, and I mean, credit to the players. I mean, you'd think that they'd be a little bit nervous or something, but they're just coming out and it's just break dish.
They're playing so great, these tables. Players are really confident playing on them, so if they're there, then they're taking them. I had a practice on these new cloths last night. Felt really nice.
You're playing the flyers, yeah?
Yeah, played in the first fly. It was quite a tough field. Farnsworth, McCarthy and all. Won a few rounds and lost to Declan Brennan. But how nice these cloths were playing.
So you can see down the side of the table there, the Supreme Pool Series, our main sponsor, and Supreme. And there's their table there. Probably flagship product in its full glory, the Supreme winner. And don't forget, you can win one of those tables this weekend. Just go across and like and share the post that you'll find pinned to the top of the Players Pool Events page, and Supreme have generously given us a table, so you just need to like and share that post and have joined the group, and all credit to Supreme. This has been a fantastic series, and them being the flagship sponsor. Hats off and thank you to all of the sponsors for making this event possible. And there you see the arena in, well, I guess in its full glory. I think it looks fantastic in red, actually.
Looks great. Looks like Kenny's been busy with a paintbrush.
He has, yeah.
I think the table's beautiful as well, and I think the grey cloth does definitely enhance that appearance and play.
Yeah. So we see the real number 1. George Tierney gets frame number 2 underway. And he puts a red ball. Well, that's kind of irrelevant apart from the fact he's potted a ball. He will choose the group set by virtue of potting his first ball. So he'll be going for reds.
I was quite disappointed when they had to adjust the draw, because I think George was meant to play Ronan originally.
Yes.
And I think we were all looking forward to that.
Yeah, yeah.
A bit of rivalry that George and well, George has with Ronan. I don't think Ronan really cares, but but this is a very interesting game they played earlier on in one of the earlier series.
Yeah. I mean, that game ended. We couldn't work out whether it was 11-2 or 11-3, and we know it was a convincing win to Tom. Yeah. But even so, I mean, George, if he's ever going to have a chance against Tom Cousins, it would probably be now, because he's going to be about as in form as he could be, because he's playing so many money matches at the moment.
I think this is the best I've seen George play in a long time, and we all have a bit of a joke and all, but
he's an adept player.
He can play. He is a serious player.
He is. He is.
When he's on the table, the laughing and joking all goes, and he's capable of any of the top players on his day.
Yeah, yeah, he's a real character. But you know, people forget that this guy can actually play.
He's looking to prove that here. Looking to follow up with follow-up from Tom's break dish. Just one key shot here.
Nice, very nicely controlled. Probably just overrun that by an inch, but he's absolutely fine.
Easy enough for the big man, should be.
Indeed. A break dish from both players, and a ripple of applause for George.
All the fans out in force here.
Yeah.
Quite a few in the chat room where it looks as well.
So we see our referee is Sam Sprackman. This is the first time that Sam's worked on the Supreme Series. First time that he's been on the arena table, so he'll be feeling the pressure a little bit, under scrutiny from the cameras. Setting the balls up onto the shark rack. Oh, the cameraman's being unfair now, zooming in on his hand, seeing if there's a bit of a shake there, but it looks pretty steady. Good stuff.
I hope Kenny's still going to sell this table afterwards. I'd like to get my hands on it.
Yeah.
Be nice, little. Sit nice in the club, that will. So I'm guessing if he does run next year, it'll be a brand new brand.
Yeah.
So for the right price, he might sell.
And a dry one from Tom. So
it's interesting here, because normally you probably, with an open table, you probably play the red onto the yellow and yellow.
Yeah.
Because then you naturally knock the other yellow into the table, but you can't play that shot in Supreme rules.
Yeah.
So you've just got a bit of work here. They would be all sat there really if he could play that shot.
The little awkward. It's got the little awkward cut to middle to open the account if he wishes to. He's obviously got the one over the other middle, but at some point he needs to get back to somewhere around about where he is for that other yellow. He's going to take the slightly easier one just to make sure he gets on that ball group.
We're looking at some point to get to the top left-hand side of the table to play the plant and then top into the red, which is covering the other yellow. Be quite a little natural shot there with run inside if he did get up the top side of the table. And he has got that one near the middle bag as security if he didn't. Maybe it's worth him playing up there now with a bit of side. I'm not sure what angle he's got.
Just making sure that shirt's tucked in. It doesn't drape down and touch the ball. As you can see, it's fully clear. I think he would have probably just played for the kiss there, do you think? Or
I think he did play for the kiss, but
yeah, he's okay though.
if it had run on a bit, he would have been perfect to
Yeah.
play the shot, I was saying, but still a bit tricky, these.
It is, yeah. It's,
Because he's not in control. If he does miss, he won't be in control really with the loss of turn foul.
even if he'd have, you know, come another 4 or 5 inches, he could have played this with side and just nudged that red out of the way, couldn't he? But
Yeah,
it's just
not
not
run
on. So still a tricky little finish here.
He's safe. And that's the shot.
Yeah. Clever little shot. Shows he's thinking. Put Tom under pressure. Just left a barely, probably 1/4 of an inch between white and red, so pretty sure there's no attacking options here. I don't think he can play across to find the pot and angle. He's too close to the object ball. So Tom's going to have to think about this one.
I'm not sure if he can play the double to the left middle with the red that's nearest the rail.
Yeah.
I think that's his only attacking shot, I think. Is he looking to just drop on this and leave no shot on the yellows? Don't think that's no good, I don't think.
No.
He needed to leave it tight to the yellow, didn't he?
Yeah, it looks like George can play across the face of this.
And develop
This
the other
yellow.
one in the same time.
Yeah. So this now should be a decent. Well, maybe he's a little bit closer than we thought. Or perhaps he's just, yeah, that's probably quite a clever shot actually, just to try and develop things and,
I think he's left the angle though for Tom to get out the red.
yeah. Bit of a shake of his head, he's not over the moon with the outcome.
Not sure if he just
No.
got enough angle.
Plus, of course, the yellow looks like it's probably tied itself up at the bottom of the table, so...
Yeah, and he needed to get the bag then. Because that give him 2 securities then with both bags on the right hand side would have been covered then.
Almost felt like he could have attacked from that spot. He felt like he almost had a bit of a shot to nothing
I
to the
think
right middle.
especially these rules, I think the attacking's the way forward, especially when you've got a bit of control.
Tom going to be looking at trying to clatter into these yellows at the top of the table, pot into middle and open things up. May have just a touch too much angle to be able to do that.
Not sure if he's just going to come one round, not the red, or if he's going into the yellows.
He's going into them.
And that's worked out all right.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he's got a difficult next ball, but that's probably about as good as he could have hoped for there.
I think the pot on like this shot, he shouldn't miss the pot with the rails, with the cloth just being brand new. They're playing a bit generous, but it's just position now on his next ball, isn't it, that he's looking at. That's the only reason why he might miss it. Decided just to drop it in.
Yeah, he just took his medicine there, and he's going to...
It's not too bad, because I don't think this yellow passes to the bottom right.
Yeah, so it gives him a bit more freedom. And that's one of the reasons that he's played that at that pace as well, because if he'd have played it any harder and missed it, there was always a chance that red could
Stay
could
over
come
the bag,
well,
or go safe.
yeah,
Yeah,
or come back and knock the yellow out.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons he probably played at that pace. But now, nice clearance there from Tom, and George really not doing quite what he should have done.
So it's black for 2-1. We're staying on break. It's like I said, we're on break, and that's how I've been practicing for this event. I think we're going to have a wide open racks most of the time with the new cloth, the magic with the shark rack. So I've been treating it like you're trying to hold your break and then pinch and break when your opponents. George, we're looking to keep on breaking in this frame, and big break here. And it looks like he's going yellows. So he's just got to make sure he takes his out the right way here. He might come down and he can drop this one in the middle and play on the one near the black spot. Decided to go the other way. Just needs to leave himself nice on the one to the middle. I think he should be able just to hold this and not have to move the white too much. Got the red to hold it, so not too much bother here. Looks like he's got 2 rails a bit side. That should do nicely. Quite a few Irish over this weekend to watch. Fair play to him travelling over.
Frame, Tom Cousins to break, tied at 2 each.
So sorry about that. I just had to step away from commentary for a second, but I understand that was another break dish from George. So he's doing exactly what he needs to do and putting the pressure firmly on Tom Cousins.
We all know how big Tom Cousins' break is, and again he's just broke off after a good chance.
Yeah, the only problem you can see with this is the black ball, where that black is. Pretty sure that doesn't drop into the middle.
Too tight to the middle. I wonder how you go about it.
Yeah. It's not quite far enough away to play the red off the black either, is it?
So if it's a bit closer, it'd have been an easy one from here.
Yeah.
But maybe just leave the double. Tom is a very good double of the ball, and
I think that might have to be the case. I mean, he could. I think if he was going to attack it, he would have probably tried to leave an angle on the one to the right-hand side of the table off of that last shot, but he hasn't. So he's probably resigned himself to leaving it as a double. Wow, that was a delicate little shot, wasn't it? Just felt for a second that was going to hide behind the yellow and not be able to see the potting angle, but he's okay.
I think maybe you play this now and come one rail, and
yeah,
I think he normally be cautious about the in off here, but I think the new cloth a bit slidey, he should come into this nicely. It's a little bit too much.
A bit too much.
So it looks like he might have to just leave the double. Normal foresight in commentary. I'm in the comments box.
Oh wow! You heard the huff from the little sigh from Tom. As that track towards the pocket, that was a very unusual miss from him. Almost felt like he was trying to nick a bit of the bag, but didn't really think he needed to.
I think he was just down it weird. He was stretching a little bit, and then he didn't have his hand comfortable because he was queuing slightly. The yellow was in the way, and he just didn't get down on it right. And tell by his reaction that. Don't know what he's done here.
Well, I think. Well, that's landed. It's landed okay, isn't it? And it's trying to get down table to work his way around these balls. I think the one. Yeah, I think. It's landed just about perfectly for him. Yeah, just nudged that yellow back out into open play. That's another.
Got quite fortunate, didn't he?
He did, yeah, he did get very lucky, but you know, them's the breaks really. Sometimes you take a bit of luck.
So he'd probably be looking at the same thing to leave the double.
I did wonder whether he was going to try and leave an angle to screw back into the black, because he would have been guaranteed to be on one of the other balls, but no such thoughts, just going over the clearance, and as you say, just going to leave that as a double.
It's quite nice where the black is for the double, because you can leave yourself quite low and you're always going to have the shot of the double, and sometimes when you're playing on a double you're worrying about the double kiss, but
just a little wry look up to the ceiling there from George. I think he's just finished a touch too low on this, but well, I don't know, probably just a bit straighter than he wants to be, but he should be absolutely fine. He can play this with
should be able to top it through and leave himself just below the bottom left hand side pocket, and then
play it as a reverse double.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
I think he doesn't really have to worry about the in-off as well, I think.
I mean, it's not an absolute gimme, but it's one that you would certainly expect him to get. Just about judging the line.
Just watching the white.
No.
Because he's hit thick, and
that's a real let off for Tom Cousins. I I just felt there were a couple of occasions in that break where maybe George could have tried to move that black, and I think that might have.
Yeah, how the balls were, you had a chance to go at it, and worst case, if you didn't get the black, or if you did hit the black, you were always gonna have a shot on another ball.
Yeah,
How the balls were.
Exactly, yeah.
He had enough options to leave himself that shot, and he kept leaving it.
And that should have been 3-2 to George, and against someone of Tom's calibre, you have to take every opportunity, and that very much is the one that got away for George. And Tom will, I mean, it doesn't seem like a player that gets particularly nervous or pensive about anything. He always seems very casual and very laid back. But
yeah, like they were talking about.
That'll settle him. If he had any kind of nerves, that would have just settled him. Just to say, well, there was one that should have got away, and I've got it. It just gives you that extra boost, doesn't it?
Things like they said in the interview they had last night. Darren, Melin, Mick, and Kenny. One of them mentioned how cool Tom is, and you never see him giving the big one unless like he just won a big money game. It's the only time, even when he's won tournaments, I've never seen him celebrate.
Yeah.
He just so laid back and he just gets on with it. Get the odd facial expression, but I think that's the most you get out of him.
Yeah.
Sixth frame, George Tierney in the break, trailing 3 frames to 2.
So his last 2 breaks he's broke dished.
And he's immediately lost the white ball. So, no real penalty for losing the white ball off the break, apart from the fact that it's obviously ball in hand behind the break line. So no real advantage, as in black ball you get the free visit to be able to break open the table. So it's still pressure on Tom here with tough balls on the table. That little cluster on the left-hand side is the obvious one.
So I think he had a quick look. He's looking just to screw down the side rail and leave the angle to go into the red that's tied up near the yellows. But
now he has left an angle to.
Slightly gone more than he wanted to, but he's still got that angle.
Yeah.
You're looking probably just to bump into the rail first, would you say here?
I would think so, yeah. And he just needs to be careful, because that, the 2 yellows are set to one of those yellows is going to release down table, and he has to be careful that he doesn't tie up one of his other 2 reds. So he can't play it with any kind of abandon. He really needs to play this as a controlled shot.
I think if he doesn't like it, he could just leave that red as a double.
He could absolutely.
He's looking to go. I don't think so. Doesn't get into it too much. He's played that well. So he's either looking to use the.
He could, use the
red to go into it.
Yeah.
Which is
the one that's just above it.
Or he might be just looking just to leave the double after he clears the 2.
If I was going to try and move that red, I'd prefer to do it from below, from maybe the red that's closest to us. I think that would probably be the preferable ball, but as you say, there's a number of options. There's more than one way to skin a cat in this
he's got a few ways of getting into it, and I think maybe he's just leaving the double, but if he's...
I think you're right. I think he would have done something by now if he was going to. That's
I think he...
been under hit. Well, was he just going for the double there?
I think he might have overdone it. He might be a double kiss, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't really tell from this angle.
Well, he feels it still goes. It's one of those you just needed to just punch it almost, just to
straighten it up.
Straighten it slightly. Tricky little cut down the rail. I mean, the new cloths are make these pockets fairly generous. So if he plays at pocket weight, you fancy him to get it, but it does.
Just wants to be careful he doesn't slide too much and come behind the yellow.
Yeah.
Maybe a tracer right hand side just to hold it.
Just adds that little degree of difficulty, doesn't it? But he's played that very well. And suddenly from a position where George very much should have been 3-2 ahead, he gave that frame away to Tom, and then of course went in off on the next frame, and that's all she wrote. And suddenly he's 2 frames behind, and that's how these games can change on a sixpence. So let's have a quick look at the other scores. I can tell you that Jordan Templeton has beaten Ronan McCarthy 11 frames to 5. That's Ronan McCarthy over into the loser's side, and I think Jordan was, well,
he's 5 to 1 because I writ a slip out, and then I changed my mind and put Jamie Graham in because I heard Yannick hadn't had his cue on time.
Oh.
So if Jamie's lost, then I've took out a winning bet and put in a losing.
Jamie won.
Jamie won.
Jamie beat Yannick 11-7.
Did and Clough was playing boys. Boys was quite far ahead.
Boys, yeah, I can tell you that one. So we'll just run through them anyway. Chris Day beat Oli Bell. Jamie Graham beat Yannick Beaufils. Declan Brennan beat Michael Still 11-0. But I guess that
no, he was here.
That draws to the question of whether that was a walkover.
I saw that Michael was here.
Oh, he was there, so that is an 11-0 beating. Carl Boys beat Lee Clough 11-4. I mean, that is some result.
That's killed my bet.
That is some result for Carl Boys. I mean, I'm not saying Carl's not capable. He's more than capable, but Lee is such a consistent
Lee's
player.
that steady. You expect him when you come up against someone like Carl, who's not playing the game full time. You expect Lee to take the.
And has probably been focused on American pool for the last couple weeks as well, playing in the
warm-up game
event down in London.
Yeah.
Ryan Pisani beat Gaz Royds 11-6. Carl Morrison beat Adam Penwell 11-2. So if he is indeed going to win this event, he's going to have to do it from the loser's side. Ben Tanner probably created a bit of a shock there, beat Liam White 11-7.
Very good result for Ben.
Really good, yeah. Ben showing, I mean, he showed in the last event why he's turning up to these. I think did he buy a package pre, or has he bought into events ad hoc? I'm not quite sure.
Who's this, sorry?
Ben Tanner, I'm not sure.
Oh no, he's been at all the events.
Yeah.
Because he put himself and Dan Bishop from our way in the event.
Ah, right, okay.
He had a few good results this season, Ben has. Ben's well capable.
Yeah. And Jack Whelan had a forfeit against Jamie Murray. Jamie didn't turn up this weekend.
I think Jack got quite lucky because he arrived at the airport at 1:30 today.
Oh, right.
And then Jamie's message saying he's a no-show. So then Jack's had a bye, so he didn't have to turn up. And now he's playing me at 6.
Oh, no.
So really, I should have had a bye.
Yeah.
But I got to play Jack at 6 o'clock now.
Craig Waddingham beat Daz Lightfoot 11-1. Gav Robinson, who was, I think he was 6-1 down against Adam Marlow, he came back to win 11-10. We saw Darren Appleton beat Darren McVicker, and there's a couple of buys. And ongoing at the moment, David McNamara's 5-1 up against Mark Fleming. Phil Milan 1-0 up against Toby Bolt. Carl Sutton 5-3 against Ross Smith. Neil Rayburn in action against John Chapman, they're 3 each. Andrew McKee 3-2 against Harjeet Singh. Dylan Leary and Christy Cofield 2 apiece. Carla Donahue 5 frames to 4 against Mark Asprey. Adam Davis 4-1 against Kevin George. Brian Halcrow 1-0 against Sanjay Patel. Jeremy Hooper 2-1 up against Cy Fitzsimmons. Clint Ianson 1-1 with Joe Prince. These games just getting underway really. Mike King 1-0 against Phil Naylor. And as we said, Jordan Templeton beat Ronan McCarthy 11-5. And
Jordan's well capable. Jordan, I think he's won the Scottish men's. But when I was under 18s and 21s Blackball, he was the man to beat. He was the best of them coming playing in Scotland, and I'm not sure whether he stopped playing for a bit, but he's back on the scene now, and he just showed how good a player he is.
Well, I mean, Ronan hasn't looked like going out in the first round in any of these events. He's been staunch all the way through.
I watched him in the Flyers last night, and he was in great form. And someone messaged me because they had a bet on K8, one of the other sponsors. And someone said to me, "Oh, who do you fancy?" And I said, "Well, Roland playing well tonight. Have a bet." So hopefully he didn't bet.
Yeah.
I give a bad tip there. George just punishing Tom's dry break there.
Yep.
And as I was saying earlier, I think we're back on break now. George breaking to level it up. See, as they were saying in that interview last night, they had the break being the biggest shot in this game, especially when they're splitting like that. He's just got a bit unlucky though.
He has. That cue ball's just lost it to the bottom rail, and it's difficult to see an opener
From
here.
this angle, you can cut this yellow back in.
You can cut it, yeah.
He's naturally going in. He's naturally going into these
the two problem balls.
Yeah.
Maybe just a trace of side on it. You can see him just putting a trace of right hand side just to help the white ball. Oh, again, he's been so unlucky there.
I'm not sure if he can get through, and
Don't think he can. Wow, there's no gap there. Well, that was really unfortunate. He split those lovely. If that had sat over the middle bag, this frame was all but done. Now he's got some major problems on his hands. I mean, you fancy him to get through to the one. What I was going to say.
that's
That's
a foul.
a foul, yeah. There's no totals in this rule set, so that's a foul. Ball in hand for Tom. And, ball in hand anywhere on the table, I would.
Tom is quite attacking here, but I think the shot probably is to put the white on the top right hand side of the table, knock the red onto the pop the yellow over the bag, leave the red over the bag, and then bring the white down the bottom left and snooker him again.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the shot.
I don't think he will, though.
No, I think he's too attacking for that. I think he'll just try and get on the ball on the right hand side rail and.
Well, he's either. I mean, he can put the white over there now, can't he? And play that straight away.
Play it straight away. Yeah. You just got to then get back up on that one on the top of the table.
That was the only thing. That was the only thing that made me wonder if he might play the one in the bulk area and try and come down and knock that out as his first shot. But,
see, we're all quite. All players are quite new to like the tactics-wise, like that situation there. You don't really know what the.
Yeah,
We don't yet
what the
know
right
what
shot
the
is.
correct
Yeah.
shot is.
Yeah. So as you say, like red onto yellow, and having that red over the pocket would have given Tom a massive
Yeah,
advantage
he could
there.
have brought the white down to this left-hand side rail, and he would have snookered George again.
But now he's got a nice angle just to drop back up table to where he had that cue ball a second ago. That's okay. I mean, it's not a
He's not
a foul, but it's he's lost the white ball, and
He's got to get this now because both yellows go now, where before they were covering each other.
yeah.
He's put a bit of pressure on himself here when he didn't need to.
It's thin, and I think he's okay. He doesn't have to mind the in off. Well, he could just stun the ball back out. Again, just not ideal, is it? Probably he's left himself.
So just from that one bar positional
Yeah.
play, that's what's cost him, I think.
Yeah.
He did the right thing going from the way he did. It was just that one bar positional shot.
No,
He's
this is tough. This is a tough shot. If he makes it, it's frame over, but
great shot.
yeah, very good. Very good. Played it at a lovely pace too, just controlled it really well. Good stuff from Tom, and he just looks so chilled out, doesn't he? He's almost like a bear coming out of hibernation, isn't he? He just looks like a big bear just coming up after the winter and just having a little stretch and jaunting around the table. It's just looks like he's gonna go out and find something to eat in a minute if he can be bothered. Just pop down to McDonald's and have a bit of lunch.
So a few asking about the rules. So those who don't know, we're playing Supreme rules.
Yeah, if you're wondering, if you want to know what the differences are in Supreme rules, myself and Viv made a a video this morning, which you'll find on YouTube. It's I think it's under the title of the Supreme Rules. You can find it on the Beard Productions YouTube channel. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see it there. So it just runs over the kind of salient points. It's only a sort of 10-minute video. Also, you can go on the Players Pool Events page. The rules are pinned. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry, the rules are pinned to the top of the page, and there's also a brief kind of précis of 16 points, which lay out the major points of the rules. But, in essence, they're very similar to American 8-ball and Chinese 8-ball. Very similar. No jump shots allowed.
So another draw break from Tom. That's the last two.
So the referee just asking George just to step back to his seat a second when he takes the rack off, just to make sure that the players don't get an advantage. It's a 45-second clock, so the players shouldn't be at the table working out their pattern while the referee is doing his job. So Reds look a bit of a dream here, don't they? It's fairly natural pattern as well.
Just about the first shot. I think he's slightly out of position here.
Yeah, straight away he's let that one get away. That was always going to be the problem. He was almost better letting that white ball run around.
Could have overrun it.
Yeah, exactly. Let it run around the cushions.
Because now he can't play the one he wanted to play, the one nearest the black, unless he digs down into it and avoids the yellows.
Yeah.
Could play the double. It's looking just to dig down. It's come down the bottom rail and back up.
That makes it much more difficult, but what a lovely shot.
Cued that very well.
Yeah.
Just got a bit of luck kissing the yellow, but
playing it at that pace into the middle, always a tricky little shot, but played it very well. And George really giving a good account of himself here. Not really done too much wrong, has he? Well,
I should say that.
Just as I say that.
Still got a shot. This red does pass the top right.
Yep.
He should be able to hold it, but so much margin for error there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Shouldn't have been near that yellow, really. Needs to find this pot, almost guaranteed to be on something, and he is. But it's just getting tricky, isn't it?
It's just landed all right because he can play the one at the top now.
Yeah. Slightly hampered queuing.
If he left himself Chinese, he probably wouldn't have been able to go for it because it would have been awkward, but he can just come up and
cue to the side.
He can play onto the red he's nearest to next.
Nice recovery.
I think the black passes the bottom right, I think.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yep. George on the cameras, showing us the pass in the black.
George is coming round for another look to make sure the black does go. If it didn't, it wouldn't be a problem. He could just screw it back 12 inches and take the black in the opposite corner. He was pretty much dead straight, so had that option.
In this game, all you got to do is stick around and take your chances when you can, and you'll have a chance against these top boys if you take your chances.
Yep.
So yeah, if you haven't already, which I think I haven't, so I need to go on Facebook. I think I like the page. I don't think I shared the.
Yeah, like the post, share the post.
I'm on the group, yeah.
And join the group, and you will have a chance at winning a brand new Supreme winner, kindly donated by our headline sponsor, Supreme. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors, to Home Leisure Direct, to Supreme, to Strachan Aramis, to Jed Ronan at the Winning Post, and to Jason Owen.
Okay.
10th frame, George Tierney to break, trailing 5 frames.
And also don't forget K8.com. If you open an account there this weekend, then you will have a chance to win a Jason Owen Q.
Quite a few of my friends took up that offer. A few of them like asking me who I fancy outright. They were having a bet on the outright market with the money they deposited, and
Yeah. Well, it gives you an interest, and you get a chance of winning a Jason Owens limited edition Q, which is...
How big is that break
brilliant
from George?
Yeah, he does break well. He times it really well. So now it's again back on serve. A couple of times Tom's pulled a couple clear and given
George
a
fought
chance.
back.
Yeah.
I think he'd be looking to just stun the one into the middle and then take this yellow out the way on this bottom left, because that's covering the red to the bottom left. I think that red only goes to the bottom left corner.
I mean, he could leave the one on the bottom rail to his last ball to get on the black, couldn't he? So
yeah, he could screw into the red, and he could play the one to the middle and screw into the red and yellow, which is kind of tied up. But I don't think he needs... Oh, he's going yellows. There's me thinking reds were better.
I think I quite like yellows there. It's
I think just the red over the top bag was distracting me.
yeah.
Looks easy enough here to drop on.
Yeah, he can play this to middle and just stun out.
See, the patterns are probably the biggest part of this game. The top lads have already got the better patterns.
Not quite sure what he's done there. I mean, he lifted his cue straight away as though something happened, as though he had a...
I think he just caught it a bit thick. And
yeah. I guess he was trying to run the white ball up. I mean, surely that yellow passes... Well, it does pass in the top right, so I'm just curious why he didn't just play that as a stun shot to cue the white ball across the left-hand side of bulk. Now he's left with this plant.
He's following through, yeah.
Very makeable plant, but now he's banging trouble.
See, that's why I preferred reds, because I think I think the red did pass to the bottom left before. If he cleared this red, of course. I think there was the way around how you would have took him out was you were always gonna then pop the last red and you were on the black. I think the yellows you just had to move the white ball around a bit too much.
Yeah.
He's got a very nice kiss there.
Wow. How's your luck? Goodness me.
But he's still got quite a bit of work to do, because
He does. I think
the
he
black don't go.
Can he screw
much.
around off 2 rails? Screw around off 2 rails and try and get... Or is he... Yeah, he's going to screw
He
around.
needs to get a nice angle in his next ball. He's under it, that, I think.
No, he's
Or
okay.
He's over it.
No, he's okay. That's going to end up just on the bulk line. I think he's just now.
So
Obviously,
angle.
yeah, he's just not got the angle that he needs. Well,
He needed to swing it around a bit more and come more towards the red, didn't he?
yeah.
Because you were always going to have a possibility of getting onto the black. I just think if he is straight here, he hasn't got much option, is he?
He's just off straight, but even that, I mean, he could play it with top and left-hand side, but that's not going to help his cause because the black doesn't pass into...
I think can he top through the gap with the side and leave it to the middle? Or is he screwing it out?
Yes, he's screwing.
Put some screw on this. Might pop out this yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, he tried to fizz it. Tried to fizz it in. Always difficult. Always difficult to try and to play him at that pace.
You're after it
from that acute an angle.
You're after it imperfect to the middles, especially at that pace.
Yeah.
You can't expect just to smack it and the ball to drop. That was George's chance to level it up.
Really is. And that was a great chance too.
He's already done better than the last time they played.
Yes.
So that's a bonus for him, but he doesn't want to let Tom get away. There's only ever been a 2 gap, I think, in this match, and with Tom breaking, Tom could extend this match.
Adam Davis 8-1 up against Kevin George. Brian Halcrow 2-1 against Sanj Patel. Cy Fitzsimmons has won 2 on the bounce and he's 3-2 up against Jeremy Hooper. Clint Jansen 2-1 up against Joe Prince. That one's a pretty slow game by the look of it. Mike King now 3-0 against Phil Naylor.
It's just about right there. You can get through to the screw-in angle. There's the white. Should hold up. Just about held up. Back to the 2-frame gap, and Tom breaking.
See a couple of people asking about scores around the arena. If you want to keep up with the scores, then you will find them at qscore.com. Along the top you will see the different tabs. If you go to live, that will show you all the tournaments that are currently live, and you'll see a link there for the Supreme Pool Series Home Leisure Direct Grand Final.
I think Q-Score really took the game forward, I think,
Yeah.
with the system they got there. I know how much hard work they put in, speaking to one of their reps, how much work they put into the website, and they're not finished yet. Some of the plans they got to keep moving it forward.
Yeah.
It's great.
I think it's a fantastic website. It's just the next generation, isn't it? I mean, I can't even think how many times I've been sat at home wondering how a tournament's going because there's no streaming coverage. Even when there's no streaming now, you've still got all the live scores on qscore.com, and they are, virtual as they happen. If you're not aware, each one of the tables in the arena has a little device, like a tablet. I guess you can pretty much do it off every tablet. I think Q-Score do sell their own tablets, but I think you can use anything, an iPad or whatever you may use. So each of the tables has got a tablet, and it's just basically the scoreboard. So the players know what the score is, and all they do after they win a frame is just go up and knock their score up by 1. And that is virtually
Within seconds,
it's
within seconds,
it's
the fans see
connected to Q-Score, and that updates in real time. Within a couple of seconds, you'll see that reflected on your screen. And I mean, it is literally just a couple of seconds. I mean, you can literally watch the end of these frames that we're watching now, and immediately the score has changed. And another really loose one from George. We've said about how well he's playing, and he's cueing well, but he's just letting a couple of these shots get away from him. And he had to be playing at the very top of his game to have a chance against Tom Cousins. And these little mistakes that are creeping in. I mean, it should be 5-all. And as it is, it's 6-4, and he's in trouble again.
You have to come off the side rail and try and pot it.
Yeah, you fancy him to go closer, don't you? I mean, he should be going close.
It's close.
He's got it. That's a nice shot from George.
So it's just important now. You might have the angle here, but you run a bit of risk here if you pop the one to the middle and come off the top rail and knock. Wouldn't be a bad shot to try and then develop the one on the left-hand side rail. Worst case scenario, you run past it and you've still got a shot on it. Just looking to take this one and go into it a bit side by looks. Yeah. And he's absolutely perfect there, I think. He's landed perfect. I think he might just drop through here. You stand across. Stand down the table. He's definitely had a bit of run this match, George. He has took him on after the bit of run, but see that. He could easily be winning this match, the amount of chances he's had. But he's happy to be one behind here from the ones he has missed. I notice his fan group's gone from 5 or 6 to 1 there.
Yeah. So George just giving his neck a little stretch, maybe preparing his loser's speech, just
in case.
Just in case, you know. Oh,
I honestly
fans!
he probably
my
think,
neck
yeah,
was my neck was going.
I
I got a
honest-
little. I slept funny and I had a crick in my neck.
No wonder why he didn't do well, mind the event he shared with Adam Penwell, because I'm trying to sleep last night and he does snore, mind.
Yeah.
Adam.
Oh.
And he tried blaming me. That's a whole different ball game.
12th frame, George Tierney to break.
Carl Sutton going 8-4 up on Ross Smith. So George had a big break so far through this match and might be dry this time. This has been a key time. So lucky there's a few balls tied up there.
Just as a total aside, I bought a new vanity unit, you know, for downstairs toilet, which comes with the toilet and the sink and everything else last week.
Yeah.
And when it turned up, it was broken on the back of it. So I had to wait a week to get it back, to get a new one. And I said, what do you want to do with the old one? And they said, well, can you dispose of it for us? Well, that's fine, but when I go to take it to the dump, they actually charge you to get rid of it because it's classed as hardcore. So I took it up there yesterday, and the bloke obviously charged me to dump it. And my wife just texted me and said, because the replacement toilet turned up like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So we took the old one and disposed of it. And then my wife just texted me and said that another one turned up this morning. So I now have another toilet. And they'll say, oh, can you dispose of it for us, please? So I've got to pay to take it to the dump yet again. It's just like unbelievable. So if anyone needs a spare toilet...
Wow, just get on Facebook Market.
Yeah, exactly.
See if you can get some money for it.
Sell it.
Surprised you chucked the last one.
Yeah, well, it was broken. It was cracked at the back.
Okay.
So, yeah. It would have been all right for a plant pot for someone, but that's about it.
At least this
Anyway.
one you may be able to flog. If anyone does need one, then you know who your man is.
Yes, maybe I'll just keep it in the keep it in the garden for just as a spare. Anyway, back to the action. Tom. Paul's just suggested that I can use it as a commentator's seat. So maybe
He's not queued down.
No.
He's just got lucky he's on this ball.
It might be a great. It's a great invention actually for all commentators, so we don't have to actually get up and go out of the room to go to the toilet. You can just go where you're. Yeah, Tom normally with his cue power and cue action, he's got no problem with those kind of shots, but for some reason he just didn't get into that at all. Trying to screw right back across onto the side rail.
Doesn't want to kiss the red. Don't know what he's thinking next. I think the yellow does pass to the bottom left, so I don't know if it does pass. I don't know why he just didn't stun on and off the rail and leave that ball.
No, he's got a problem.
I think this yellow goes, so he can play this now, and he's relying on a bit of luck. But if he tops it through, he could skim off the black and top two rails towards the left-hand side of the table and maybe leave a shot. It does go. Would be relying on a bit of luck, but I think he should just top this through here and got the natural angle coming across. He's okay.
No. And also you could hear the referee in the background doing the countdown, the ominous countdown, so...
He was on the yellow if he got it, but he just hit it really thin. Some uncharacteristic mistakes here by Tom.
Yeah.
We're not used to seeing...
And at the same time, he's flicked that red out and just left George pretty plumb on it as well, the one difficult ball. George deciding, well, maybe he's just a bit close to it for absolute comfort, so...
Saw Tom's reaction in the background there, and he's not impressed with his performance here.
Yeah. The thing is, in this field, you just can't take anybody lightly, can you?
Just got to mind his work here.
Adam Davis beat Kevin George 11-1. Top player Adam Davis, of course, ex-world champion.
Yeah, I was just about to say former world champion.
Yeah.
He got to the Masters final this year, World Rules.
Yeah, still a very capable player. He's had a couple of fairly deep runs in this without a real showing. He's not made a quarter yet, but he's, as I say, a very capable player. There's been some good performances already today. I mean, Gareth Hibbett, who was one of my picks for the weekend, beat Liam Pedley 11-1, so he's very much on form. Still.
So I think the year Adam won the Worlds was still when Gareth Potts was playing, and it was a very strong field.
Yeah.
I remember he beat Potts in the quarters. I think Potts was a bit tired out that week because he went on and won the Masters. Then on the Monday after winning the Masters, he had the quarters of the Worlds, and I think he just ran out a bit of steam trying to go for the two.
Still a lot of big names to enter the arena in the 4 o'clock session. Craig Marsh, Mark Boyle, Ben Davis, Scott Gillespie, to name a few. Scott Gillespie has got a bye through the first round. Liam Dunster would have been in action in this round, as would Mark Farnsworth, but they both had byes. And the reason they had byes is because this is a seeded competition. The seedings were drawn up from your positioning in the first 4 events. No.
Quite really thick.
Yeah, he he was just trying to.
I think if he actually potted that, I think he was in off there.
Yeah, I think that was what he was worried
I
about.
think the side made him hit it thick.
Yeah.
I think there.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he was worried about. Now then, there is a shot if Tom wants to take it on. He can double this yellow and run around 4 cushions. He may just decide to take the one at the bottom of the table if he thinks he can hold. If he doesn't think he can hold for the yellow, then we might see him go for that double.
I think he might just take the risk and.
Yeah, he looks like
He might be able to come up off the top rail and then.
Oh, he's going up and.
Oh.
Oh, wow. That's a miss.
That wasn't close.
No.
I think he was trying to go into the yellow by the look of that angle.
That's just.
He was
Wow, that
looking.
was just a bit strange, wasn't it? I mean, you don't expect. Firstly, you don't expect Tom to miss the pot, but even if he'd made it, he was in absolute no man's land.
Yeah.
You felt like he could have thinned it and just come up and down the table twice. And
Yeah, that's what I think. But he looked like he played it with a bit of side just to go into the
Yeah.
yellow.
As I say, that double, I mean, that would have probably. I mean, it's a.
Tom's a good double
know.
of the ball, and
I know. It felt because it seemed like he had a nice angle there to be able to come right around the table. Anyway, it's 6 frames each.
so you see Ben Forte, Adam Penwell, Adam Davis in the background there. It's a lovely arena here. So I wonder how long it took him to paint it.
Oh, it took him a long time. Several coats on there. Was that the timekeeper just came in and picked up a box of Pringles? You can't eat and ref at the same time, can you? That's just...
Pressure really on Tom here. He should be well clear in this match. Because they both had plenty of chances and both missed a few balls. You would expect a few careless misses from George, but not from Tom.
Just one ball there sat on the shot rack for referee Sam to move. And he does it quickly and well. Look at that. That's mean. That's mean.
You can see I like that this event that you've got the screen there with the time ticking down.
That's the referee. That's the timekeeper and the head ref at this event, Viv Rusko. She's the partner of Gareth Hibbert, and that's very cruel. She's just having a snack. That's what she's doing, keeping her blood sugar up.
He's underrun that again.
Yeah,
Shouldn't be a problem, but he's just making stuff hard work from here.
You know,
his first match into the tournament.
throughout this series, we've seen Tom struggle in a few games. I remember he struggled against Callum Singleton in one of the games. And
That was the last event he lost to him in the quarter. He played him twice this series.
Yeah.
He only just beat him 11-10 in the one.
in the first one, yeah.
And he lost to him last event 11-10 in the side, or it was 11-9.
We've seen him struggle a few times in this, but somehow, most of the time, he just managed to drag himself across the line. And
He's got to a couple of quarters in the last 16, and he got to the semis of the first event, and I didn't see him losing that first event until he was 10-6 up against Dunster. He made one uncharacteristic mistake, and that was his last chance.
yeah. And you know, a lot of people's fancy for this event. Everyone thinking that Tom's going to up his game where the big prize money is concerned. Well,
Because he's beat him all this series. He's beat Appleton, he's beat Mellin. I think he beat Farnsworth one of the events. He's beat most of the top players. Just hasn't put it.
He just needs to put it all together.
When
for
it's
one
come
event,
down
doesn't
to the knockout, when it's come down to when he's on one life or the knockout event, like the knockout stages, he just that one performance which you normally don't see from him. But this is the one they all care about with the big prize pot, and
he? Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be looking just to finish the job off here and then have a good attack at the tournament. See the clock that was ticking down the top left. back in the lead.
Yeah. And that's all he'll really want. I mean, he won't care what it looks like. He won't care as long as he gets the win, because that will give him time to go and reset. I'd say a few uncharacteristic mistakes that you don't expect to see from Tom Cousins, but you know that's sometimes that's the way to win a tournament, isn't it? It's you know, it doesn't matter if you start off a little bit ropey and a bit messy and a bit ugly, as long as you warm up into the tournament and you just get better and better as it goes on.
See, one of the best quotes is, especially, it's like the golf, you can't win a tournament on the first few days, but
Yeah.
you can lose it, can't you?
You can, yeah, absolutely.
Especially this, like, I know Harrison did it at the one event, he lost first round and then come through the losers.
Yeah.
But I would never have said anyone would be able to come through the losers, and especially the field, like, so.
It's something they always say in poker. If you take the World Series of Poker, for example, it's a 9-day tournament, and you know, everyone's going all great guns to get a lot of chips on day one, but actually it's kind of irrelevant because it's just the first day, and you can't win it on day one.
Just
you can
need to
only
stick in there and give yourself a chance.
Just
come
grind.
the finals day.
Just grind. Just, you know, if you've got to do it ugly, do it ugly.
And the big break from George. Yellows are not too bad here. It's just those. I'll either colour here. Probably.
Yeah.
Just both have got that tricky shot.
They do.
See if you can get on the yellow nearest to black, then you're on then the next yellow to the top corner.
Yeah.
Maybe you can play the one to the top right and
I think
track the white across the table back.
Yeah, I think it'd be going yellows, and ideally he would love to take those two balls at the left of the table, but the way the pattern looks, it almost feels like he has to leave them till last. But then, well, that's a really nervy finish.
Yeah, he's relying on playing one really good positional shot there,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
on this fine cloth, how quick it's playing.
Yeah, there's no real margin for error at all. But the way the balls were lying and the way the cue ball was, he didn't really have any option but to leave those two till the end. So he'll be just standing back an inch or so here to find the gap.
Has he overrun that, or is he on it?
No, he's
on
fine.
it.
He's fine. Maybe just a touch straighter than he would ideally like. I think he would have liked to have been just an inch or so the other side, so he could have screwed up the right hand side of the table. But as it is, he may have to screw back through the gap. He is just off straight. He's got a tiny angle, but yeah, screw back through the gap. Doesn't want to be hampered.
I think you either like underdo that or you overdo it and try and get on that tricky yellow next. It's nearest to black, but he's got hampered cue in here now, and he's got to track the white across off the side rail then back.
This has suddenly become very difficult, very tricky.
And as well now,
And this is a massive frame.
even if he gets on the yellow near the black, he's got to then. The black goes to the middles, but
Players playing to a 45-second clock. They get one extension per frame. I do believe George he's used his extension. Oh no, he's just used it. He has now. I wasn't sure if he had one or not.
that was the first time we've had an extension this match, is it?
I think it probably is.
Pace,
Yeah,
they've
they're
played.
very, both very quick players, aren't they? Both very good to watch. And there you see the extension clock counting down on the outside of the table. He's going to go for this thin cut of the rail. Now this one could go wrong. Oh
Played a
no!
double.
Wow. Well, that's a.
So if he got that, he was a clever shot, but he just.
Yeah.
Someone asked who your James Wade of the pool world is. Always there, but not quite won it. It's tricky. James Wade has won a lot of tournaments, mine, hasn't he?
I think.
Do you know the one who was always there, especially how the WEPF World Championships was? Twist used to get to the quarters every year without fail.
Yeah.
Most consistent player, without doubt, you'd be on that TV stage, the Sky stages every year, and he won it Did he win it twice or three times? The Worlds.
Yeah.
Shame he's
Twice.
not.
Yeah.
Shame he's not in this event. I'm not sure if he's playing much, is he?
No, I know he's played some local events, but I think he's just taken a bit of time out of the game, I believe.
I think he would do some
Just want
damage
to
on the
focus on
seniors
some
events.
seniors as well, yeah,
I think he
yeah.
needs to go full-time seniors like Keith Brewer.
He's definitely still playing. He's playing some local stuff around the southwest where he lives.
We got enough top players now, senior level, to have a senior tour like this.
Well, I saw Lee Kendall was talking about one quite recently, saying that he'd been asked if he would run one, so he was just putting that out there to people just to kind of gauge the interest and what sort of age limit they were talking, 40s or 50s. I think probably over 50s, and there seemed to be quite a lot of interest. It's just whether what rule set they play to, whether they play world rules or black ball or even supreme.
I think this should be the benchmark now. We should be any neutral event that's not tied to anything. I think we should play in supreme rules, because I think these are definitely the way forward, these rules, I think. But
I mean, everyone was talking about how, you know, what a great change it would be. I mean, we've watched, I don't know, between 30 and 35 frames so far today, and the rules have barely come into it. You know, I mean, there's been a few instances where, you know, okay, someone fouls and it's ball on hand, somewhere on the table, but we haven't. We haven't seen a tactical shot yet, like loss of turn.
Yeah.
Not one.
No.
Not one.
Not this match, no.
Well, not one.
You haven't
Not
seen
all
one
day.
all day, no.
All day. In however many 35 frames that we've seen today.
I think that's partly
Probably more
because
than
how
that.
attacking the rules are. Most of, like, you don't get those tactical frames. You know that you get punished in these rules for
Yeah.
being negative. You
Yeah.
play negative pool, you get punished.
Yeah.
But
So somebody asking about the cloth. This is the brand new cloth from Strachan. It's called it's been named now. It has a brand. It's called the Strachan Superfine. It will be on the market from January. Strachan are currently in the process of making it. In fact, this that you see before you was the second roll off the weaver, or whatever you call it, the weaving machine. I suppose there's a name for it, isn't there? But yeah, Lee had a roll for the last event, and it really shows, because obviously they were hoping to get this cloth for event 1, but it shows the kind of perfectionist that Lee Kendall's been. Strachan had to remake this cloth at least 2, maybe 3 times, because each time they made it, they give it to Lee. He said, "I'm not having that. It's not what I want. It's not fast enough. It's not reactive enough. It needed to be perfect," and he kept sending them back to make it again and again. So we didn't have this cloth for events 1, 2, and 3 because he wanted it to be the right product. And this is what they've come up with, and it really is a fantastic cloth.
can't believe someone in the comments just said, "Am I the only one that thinks Tom is overrated?"
Yeah, he's only 2 times world champion, and I mean,
just watch his 2 money matches back against.
created a record
Boyle.
in winning back-to-back UK tours,
Yeah.
and played arguably one of the greatest money match players in the world in Mark Boyle, and
Beat him home and away.
beat him home and away at a canter. So to say that Tom's overrated now, that's probably
So I know you covered the
one of the
first
biggest
match, and
understatements.
you covered the first match.
Yeah.
Well, that was in Attenborough, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I was happy. I had quite a big bet on Tom that night,
yeah.
and just these events, like we said, he's been to a semi, a quarters, and the last 16, the first 4 events. Maybe this is the one where he pops.
And he has underperformed.
Yeah, he's
for
not
him,
playing nowhere near his
He's
best.
underperformed, but he's still had some pretty decent results.
It sounds daft, but he's been nowhere near his top
Yep.
form for a while now, and he'd even admit that. He's
Yep.
admitted that to me, that he's struggling. But
So-
he's still delivering. That's how good a player he is.
Yeah. No, I don't think you could ever. And as a player, as a person, he's there's just no ego about him, is there? He's, you know,
Oh, he's
you could probably underrate him as a person, because like he just has no ego about him. He's just one of the nicest guys. He's just so laid back.
like, he never says anything out of turn unless it's like us and the lads just having a joke around, especially
Yeah.
when we're at the World Championships. And I've never heard him be arrogant or nothing. He may
Nothing.
have the odd joke. Don't we all? He had the odd joke, like, and
Yeah.
that's just Tom being Tom, just
Yeah.
joking around, like, and
Yeah, he's got.
I think he doesn't. I think. Does he
Well,
know that's lost a?
I think he.
He must have known.
Yeah, he knew. Well, he's certainly taking it right in his stride and just stepping away from the table without any questions whatsoever. So I'm pretty sure he knew what he was doing there.
Did he pot a red before playing that, or was that off the break?
No, that was he potted yellow off the break. No, I don't know what happened actually. I was too busy talking.
Yeah, we
I
were
missed it.
chatting away.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, both our faults. Because if
little right shake.
because
of
if
his
he
head there.
didn't if he hasn't potted a red then done that, then wouldn't that
It's
be
open
open?
table, yeah.
I don't know what Tom was trying to achieve there, because basically he's on the yellow here. If he had covered this yellow, then it wouldn't have been a bad shot.
Yeah, maybe that's exactly what he was trying to do.
Because now he's give George a chance, and unless he forgot the rules.
Yeah, what I mean about Tom being, you know, when I say there's no ego about him whatsoever, it's just he's got no. He just wants to play pool, doesn't he? He's got no desire to be in the limelight. I mean, afterwards you will literally.
He'll run away.
Yeah, you'll
to not do
literally
the
have
interview.
to. We'll have to catch hold of him and you know, forcibly pull him into the interview box. And once you get him in it, he'll only say a few words anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like some people love talking and like the limelight and all the rest of it, but Tom is just very.
You wouldn't catch Tom doing in say 10 years' time. You won't catch Tom doing what like all Mick Mellon and Daz done last night.
Oh yeah, exactly.
He'd be the last
yeah.
one to come in and start talking.
Or an exhibition. Could you imagine? Like, I mean, Tom turning up to do an exhibition somewhere,
Like,
everyone would fall off their chair. wouldn't
You
they?
would need someone like Virgo with him,
Yeah.
pulling the jokes, and Tom's just nailing balls. Basically, what Steve Davis used to do.
Yeah.
Before Steve Davis started being
And
funny.
that's not to say he's not a charismatic person. I mean, he's still like a very personable, very likable chap. He's just not. He just doesn't crave the attention and the limelight.
And, like, Tom's a great laugh when you're around him, but like when he's on the table and around pool, he just gets on with the job, and that's it. Like he's
And equally, you know, we look at George, who's this really, really big personality who, you know, everyone's aware of George. We know his Facebook profile and all the rest of it, and his money matches. But I can assure you that most of what George does is an act for the. His purpose is to get money matches that he can win, and he does it better than anybody else. You know, I mean, he's a winning money match player, and there's not many of them around, like a long-term winning money match player as well. And when you meet him, he is one of the nicest, most personable guys that you could want to meet.
He's
quiet,
a really
he's
he's
underspoken. Like, as soon as you put a microphone in front of him, he will be laughing and joking and taking the mickey out of someone. But when you talk to him face to face, he's just quiet and humble, and
he needs to go into acting.
yeah, he does.
That's not
yeah.
me joking around.
No, he really does.
Because it's the act he puts on. He gets him to games. He's a big character in the sport. And look, there's so many players better than him, but then who are they all talking about? And
Yeah.
fair play to him, because especially he's got backed onto this. And realistically, you don't expect him to win a dime on this tour, do you? How strong the field is. But he's
Yeah.
here competing.
Yeah. So Tom with what should be a fairly simple clearance. I say should be. There's always just that potential banana skin in there, just simply because it needs to be really good. It's not one of those tables by where you can play into areas and have options of 2 or 3 shots. Every shot he plays here, he has to get right, because he's only going to have one option. And they're always the ones that can just go a bit awry. He played a nice shot there, just kicking that yellow aside.
He's got the choice whether just to leave it low and come up off the top rail, or come. Oh, he's come
Oh,
across.
he's played that well.
I didn't think he had that much angle. I thought he could only just stand up and play the one to the middle, but he's played that nice. So he just need to mind his whiteboard here, and as like you said, the black doesn't go to the bottom left because that yellow, so it should be fine.
Perfect. So this now to stretch out to a three-frame lead, and as well as George has played, he's missed a few key chances where he had, good opportunities. This could be closer. It could be closer.
Saying about after the match, if Tom does a runner again, you might as well just get George in instead.
Oh yeah.
Ask her what he thinks.
I might just get both of them.
So the first time is first time they've had a free frame deficit in this match.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Free frame gap. My terminology. Hello to Willow watching down in South Wales. Quite a few of the Wildsliders tune in to watch Tom.
So Carl Sutton's through against Ross Smith. David McNamara is still in front against Mark Fleming, 7-6. Toby Bolton, Phil Malam, 5 each. Neil Raybone has got a tough game there against John Chapman. He's 8-7 up. Andrew McKee's 6-4 against Harjeet. Seeing Harjeet's had a couple of deep runs. I think he won.
He won us some money on the Calcutta.
Yeah, he won
he got to the quarterfinals. He lost 11-9 to Harrison, who went on to win the tournament.
Yes, yeah.
We were dreaming that event because that was the 100k pot in the Calcutta, and we thought we were in for 40k of it with the non-elite bonus as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I was dreaming of a new car. And then Harrison put a clinic on. I think Harjeet was actually, he was 8-5 up. And Phil won 5 in a row to go 10-8. Then they went dish and it was game over.
So dry from George.
George's the first dry break in the match.
Yeah.
I know he went in off the one frame.
Yeah, he timed that well as well, but nothing down. Cy Fitzsimmons has come back against Jeremy Hooper. He's 7-5 up. John McAllister 6-3 against Daniel Bishop. Clint Aronson 6-2 against Joe Prince. Clint off the back of that win. Was it the did they call it the Chinese 8-ball UK Open?
Yeah.
Was it UK Open?
UK Championships.
UK Championship. Yeah. So they played up at
very good win because he
Bridlington.
beat 2 very good Chinese players.
Yeah,
he was 5-1 down, I think, in the final.
I was kind of a bit surprised that they had a decent Chinese contingent because, like, prize-wise, I mean, first place was 4,000, I think, which isn't the biggest prize when it comes to when you think those guys have got to fly over from China and get their hotel. I'm guessing some of them are sponsored, of course, but I mean,
think it was basically without going into politics. You've got the International Chinese 8-Ball Association are now working with BI. Blackball International,
right?
so
Okay, yeah,
they had a Chinese team in the World Championships.
right.
Without talking too much about them.
Oh, of course they did. Yes, yeah.
So I think that's part of the deal.
Yes.
Part of the deal which got them over. It's great to see Chinese players playing English 8-ball.
It is.
Especially how big the game is. If we can get into that market.
Especially now we've come across it. I mean, we were talking about it earlier on with.
Well, they would have a chance at these. They would have a chance at this game. But them playing blackball, they didn't
understand the rules.
They didn't understand the rules, and they didn't really. From my instincts, they kind of when they lost their first 2 group games, they kind of give up. From what I got told.
If Kenny runs this series again next year, I can definitely see a small contingent entering from China, and I can see a small contingent entering from the States. I mean, Gaz Potts was saying is with Corey Jewell a couple of weeks ago in LA, and Corey was saying that he's seriously interested in coming across to play a bit of English 8-ball, and who knows? I mean, we might see him in next year's series.
I spent a bit of time with Corey at Chinese 8-ball events, and when he came over for Q School, I went and watched quite a few of his games and got chatting to him, and he had interest in playing a bit of English then. He didn't really because he was playing a lot of snooker, but Corey's one of those, he likes to have a dabble at each of the Q sports, and I'm sure he might have a go at it if it's worth it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. If the prize money's right, I think, yeah.
I don't know why some millionaire can't pump a couple mil into it.
Exactly, yeah.
All it would take is a 5-year series.
But it's pricking people's ears already. I mean, Mike Day was saying that just last week he was commentating with Dominic Dale on a snooker event.
Southwest Snooker Academy.
Yeah, that's right.
And ladies event.
Dominic was quite surprised when Mike told him that the prize for this event was 51,000. It's kind of like piquing their interest in these kind of players of I guess they're over their prime career in snooker, and they're starting to think to themselves, well, actually, 50 grand, I'd quite like a piece of that myself. Albeit, like, we don't know what's going to happen next year. If the series does run again, the prize money may well be evened out across the event slightly, so we don't have this this imbalance. Who's to know? Mr. Kendall will reveal all, I'm sure.
So, TC on the L.
Yeah.
See, it was kind of niggled at last night, but I would love to see Appleton play Cousins in a big money match.
Yeah.
I think that's really the only time we probably see them play money matches again, I think. Either player. Darren saying he wanted to play these rules, so if you've got one of the greats of all time liking these rules, I think they're definitely the way forward.
I think he was saying recently he would be interested in taking on a money match, but if he took one on, he probably wouldn't want to go straight in at Tom.
No, that's not what he said last night. He said, well, if I'm going to get into it, he said, I'm not going to put all the hours in for a 5k game or something against someone I'm probably slight favourite against, because if I put all that time in and get back to my best and then I'm going to lose, then I'm going to lose a big game. He said he'd rather jump into a 50 grand game against someone like Tom, put the hours in, because he knows then if he puts the hours in, he believes he'll win, and it was worth it. Where if he got back to his best and then won a few 5k games and lost that big game, see how long he had out the game. I think he's done well to get back to the level he's at, because I understand he's still playing pool or Q Sport, but how different the whites play and how different this game is.
That's a nice shot from George. I think he's just having a close look at this, but I'm pretty sure he gets through the gap, and that was a really well controlled shot.
I think like
and again, he's judged that well. He's inevitably going to get that little flick off the red, so
it could have gone wrong then.
It could have definitely gone wrong. Yeah.
I think Darren, now he left English 8 ball, he didn't win that World Championship he wanted. I think he'd be really wanting to win this weekend and prove, well, he's one of the best of all time with this game, and this is probably trickier than winning a World Championship. This field is probably harder than any World Championship there's been. George going out with a fight here. And he'll have if he can finish these, he'll have a break in the next.
You just feel if he could have just taken those couple of chances early on, I mean, this could have easily been 8 each,
this could have been 8 each, or the other way round. He's had enough chances.
He has, yeah.
So I'm not sure what angle he's left here.
And to be fair to George, he's played well all the way through. Just a couple of small errors, a couple of rolls that went just wrong for him, but generally he's given a really good account of himself. And still in the game. If he can just finish these last two and then find something in the last, then who knows? Put the pressure on to Tom. That's all he can do now, one frame at a time.
Looks tight, but he's fine. Be a nice lot of sweat if we have come down to the final. There's been no deals done.
Well, wouldn't it ever? Yeah.
It'd be nice if there's two people who are doing like each other as well.
Yeah.
Bit of needle.
Why not?
Surprised when Mick tipped Farnsworth for the tournament last night, especially Farnsworth has got Appleton next round now.
He does, yeah.
So
yeah, I know Darren was looking forward to that game. He loves testing himself against the best players, so that'll be a great game. So life's pretty easy for Tom at the moment, but George really needs a big break here. Break dish now to take it to 10-8, and then that pressure's back on Tom's break in the next frame. Who's to say that this one won't go close yet?
frame.
That's a great great camera angle, great shot. You can see the nap of the cloth. It's a very fine nap. It's almost like a bristle, isn't it?
Yes. Not really like a natural nap, just a, like you said, like bristle on the cloth.
Yeah.
And
If I had to, I mean, I don't really like drawing comparisons, but if I had to draw a comparison with something else, I'd say it was fairly close to the Hainsworth match. It's that kind of nap on it.
Yeah, it plays like Hainsworth match. It just, do you know, like when you play like a stun shot on Hainsworth match or precision, it pops back.
Yeah.
Where like on here, it doesn't have that pop, but like it runs as quick, it reacts as nice.
Yeah.
Which is why I prefer this cloth. And I was quite worried like how I was going to sight the ball on the colour cloth, because before coming the last event I hadn't played on a grey cloth before, but I had like a bad experience in China when I played on like a bluish cloth and I couldn't really sight the balls properly. But then playing on this cloth, I didn't tell no difference. It was just as if I was playing in the club on a green cloth.
It's okay. Just a little tiny glance on the yellow. He wanted to get past it. It's just widen the angle a fraction, but he's still okay.
Just stun up, can't he?
Yeah.
Don't think it's not worth potting the one and then bumping into the other. It could easily go wrong.
Could go wrong. Yeah, I think just play it direct. I mean, it's a fairly natural angle, just to stun off the
Just a
rail.
little cue shot on it.
Yeah. Delicate little shot. There we go. That's
Played
nice.
that well.
Played that really well.
Very
Cued it well.
confident, yeah.
And again, just a nice natural angle, just to drop off the side rail. And needs to leave himself an angle on the last yellow. Can't leave himself straight.
Oh, he's
Oh
overrun that.
no.
Quite a while.
I mean, it did fly, but he was just conscious about leaving that angle, wasn't he? He wanted to make sure he got above it.
You're better off underwritten it though,
Yeah.
aren't you? Because you're guaranteed a shot.
Yeah.
Still makeable.
It is makeable.
He's made it.
That's a great shot.
If the
Nice
white
and
slows down, he'll
it's
be
fine.
okay.
It's perfect. Yeah.
So he's definitely going down with a fight. George.
It's a nice clearance from George. Very good. 10-8. Now.
I'm surprised he's got no polo top with any sponsors on, George.
Yeah.
I think I need to get on his marketing team, and might be a cut there for me. So you should definitely be wearing some polo tops with some sponsorship on there. Like Tom's got his sponsors there. I know Tom's playing with Jason Owen Q. Jason sponsoring the series. I think it was the first event, wasn't it? Sponsored by first event that was sponsored by Jason.
Yes. So, 19th frame, and this break for Tom. I mean, he's going to like his position. He's got 2 breaks to close out the match. So, in that respect,
You think he's going to take one of them, but
yeah.
bit of pressure on here. If he doesn't pot a ball off this break, this could be 10-all.
Could be 10-all.
Then he hasn't broke that well this match. Normally, Tom's got the biggest break in the game.
It's just a monster, isn't it? I mean, you can.
Especially with the triangle when you need to hit him.
Yeah.
With this shark rack, they split lovely, does what it's meant to do, and I think, especially when you just with a normal rack, he hits him so great and
Just times it so well, doesn't he? Beautifully. Flushes the front ball almost every time. I think one of the players may have just stepped away for a bathroom break.
I think Tom gone to compose himself. Tommy wanted to end this now. got a ball. The white's just safe.
He's got a ball, and well,
They're not easy,
they're
are they?
not easy, are they? No.
I think if that yellow does pass to the middle, they'll pass.
I think it does. Yeah, I think it's going to be yellows, and I'm
If
going
that
to
yellow
make the
does
call.
pass, they're actually all there.
Yeah, I'm going to make the call. He's going to dish from here. I think the writing's on the wall for our George. Don't see Tom missing these. My first instinct was that there were problems on the table, but actually, when you look at it, it's the only real tricky ball is the one on the nearest rail to us, and that's only just because he needs to get on it, and I think he can drop on it from the one just to the left of that centre line through that gap.
Just got to mind his work, doesn't he? And so
Wow.
the Reds.
I'm surprised. I've got to say, I'm surprised. I mean, all the yellows are there, aren't they? You know, the one nearest.
Unless the yellow didn't pass. Maybe the yellow didn't pass the red and it didn't go to this bottom right corner, but
Maybe it didn't pass.
he can go into it now, but he's not guaranteed to be on a ball.
No,
He's looking to play it off the yellow.
that's a better shot. It's a tougher shot, but it's a better shot
It's
because
the,
it
it's
clears
the
yellow.
rewarding shot,
Yeah,
isn't it?
is,
You get
yeah.
it,
You win the frame if you get it. But if you miss it, it opens up everything for George. This now is a big shot.
match ball, you'd like to say.
Ref calls 10 seconds. Tom's not going to call the extension.
Oh, he's
What
played
a
it well.
great shot. Do you know what? I can't believe that he didn't ask for an extension there just to give himself that extra couple of seconds to compose himself. That was such a key shot. He definitely didn't want to be rushing it. And he's played it beautifully.
So he's been rewarded from that nice shot and chance to win the match. Slightly awkward, I think he's gone here though.
It is. I think he can pop this red and just run up onto the red just above the break line, and just if he just holds on it, then he's got the other one to the top left. I think he's just got the right angle to do that. If not, he can go just slightly wider and probably hold on the yellow. He's just taking his time. There's several options actually. Yeah, that's exactly the
played
shot
that well,
mentioned.
yeah.
Yeah, just to roll up and hold on that red. Again, it's just slightly hamper queuing, but I think he can queue by the side of the yellow, so he needs to be careful of the clock here. I'm not convinced he's got an extension, because I think if he had one, he might have used it a second ago, but again, just overhit that one slightly, but I think he's absolutely fine. He can just run this, run the white ball off the top cushion, back down pretty much over the line of where it is now to come down. His aiming point will be the yellow, just
Played it
yeah, there you go,
perfect.
yeah. And it was a good performance from George. He's done himself a lot of credit in that game. Just a couple of errors, and he could have definitely won this one. But it's Tom Cousins that does it. He won't care. He gets the win on the score sheet, and you'll see Tom dive out of the arena and just run away, so he doesn't have to come in and do an interview. But I'm hoping that someone will grab him and drag him in here, kicking and screaming. If not, we'll get George. But we will be in the interview room in just a few minutes talking to somebody. Thanks a lot, Zach.
Thanks, Nick. I enjoyed that.
We'll see you again over the weekend, and best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Here we are. I'm joined by Tom and George. Tom first, probably the start of that game not your best. I mean, you seem to be struggling a little bit at the start.
Yeah, I didn't start great, but
Nerves. Playing me.
honestly, it is extra pressure playing George.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. I know he's not very brilliant, but he's you know, everyone wants him to win.
But I've got to say, I mean, George, that was a really good performance. I mean, there was a couple of mistakes, but that scoreline could have been reversed.
Yeah, absolutely. I should have won. Really, I suppose. I'm just not used to that clock. That's all. Otherwise, I'd have slaughtered them. But that's the way it goes. I don't mind losing too much because I lost out on a lot of money matches if I'd have won. So I'm kind of at a catch-22. Do I want to win? Do I want to lose? So I don't mind losing. To be honest, usually I'd be going mad like how did he beat me, but listen, he played very well. He did what he had to do, I suppose. He's not a bad player. He's all right. Like
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, it's probably a good way to play a tournament. Not start at your best and then just try and warm up through it and peak in the final. I guess is the ultimate.
Hopefully, yeah, that is the plan. But no, I felt I played quite well there.
Yeah.
Didn't pop many off a break, but when I did, I played all right, and George broke well and played well.
So-
Only a couple of balls missed.
Just a quick mention of the rules. I mean, we're 3 matches in on that arena table, and we've not seen one kind of tactical shot, one loss of turn shot.
well, he played a tactical shot against me where he popped my ball with his ball and left
He
me.
did, that's
that
the
I
first
had to
one
go
we
for
saw,
the
yeah,
finish.
yeah.
I had no choice to go. That's
Yeah.
the thing with them rules. You had no choice to go to finish nearly all the time.
Yeah. How did you find the rules generally?
I think they're great.
Yeah.
It stops all them wardrobe fudgers like Kenny, you know what I mean? It stops all them, wipes them out. They can't compete at this with this. You know what I mean? These rules.
But you are. I mean, you're both fast, aggressive players, so those kind of rules would suit you, I think. I mean, Tom, you've just gone across into IPA playing black ball, so you know that more aggressive option.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah, I do like it. Yeah, once you get used to when you got to play the foul, then I think I'll like them. But at the minute, it's just I don't know when to play the right shot. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's just
I
getting
could
that
tell
embedded.
that, all right. I could tell, yeah. When I was playing.
It's just getting that embedded in your mind. And what about the arena? I mean, the arena's looking good. The table's playing well. You
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
Brilliant.
Good to speak to you both. Thank you very much.
Cheers, thanks very much, Nick.
The next game is going to be Mark Boyle is playing Michael Smout, so we'll look forward to seeing that one. I think that one's coming up probably due in about 10 or 15 minutes, so we'll see you then.